Okay, well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's meeting. This is a rerun of the photographic competition that would have been held in the previous season that had to be postponed because of coronavirus restrictions. We've got a very full evening, so my usual notices are going to be given throughout the evening at other intervals, just to save time. So it really just remains for me to welcome Ashley Grove and Colin Wilson, who are going to be judging tonight, and to thank Jane Campbell for organising this photographic competition. So I'm going to hand over now. And are you ready to take over, Colin?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Right, so shall we start then with the first thing I was going to do was simply explain how the competition works. So what we will do, the winner is going to gain the COVID Cup, the Gordon Langsbury Memorial Trophy. But on the way there, we're going to have 3 categories of entries that most of you will know about. So birds in the environment, flight and action, and portrait. Ashley and I will be the judges, and we'll choose the winners and runners up for each category, and at the end and each winner and runner up will receive a prize, a voucher. At the end, then all the members will be given an opportunity to vote for the actual winner of the cup. So can I move these on? Can't remember if I can do this. That's it. So there's the unadorned cup. You can have that next year. Now we've got the vaccine. That's all fine. And here's the list of past winners. So the winner will be inscribed on there. So okay. So now I am. What we're going to do first of all is to show the ones that that didn't quite make it to the final cut. There are some brilliant photos here, and I think Ashley will help me a bit here. But we have to sort some out, even though many of them we'd be quite proud of ourselves.
It'd be a very long night otherwise, Colin.
Sorry?
It'd be a very long night otherwise.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now there were some crackers amongst the ones that didn't quite make the cut, but obviously only a limited few we can put through to the final judging. But there were some really nice ones.
Yeah, many I will be very proud of, I must say. So it may be that some aren't quite sharp enough, or the composition isn't quite as good as some of the others. Maybe there's a poor background. In some cases, they might be too large in the frame, really, and distort the picture too much.
Yeah, lots of different reasons. I mean, also sort of over processing of images is something I always look out for as well. If you have to do a little bit too much to an image, it's quite obvious when you see the final effort, and you know, if it doesn't quite make it, maybe try again.
So actually, if we had that's a nice one, isn't it?
It is, yeah, nice and sharp, that one. Just a bit too big in the frame for me, that one was.
Yeah.
And again, that was very close to making the final cut. A couple of things I could say about it: that the horizon isn't quite horizontal on that one. So I was really picky, but and yeah, not quite sharp on some of those, but lovely light.
As Gordon used to say, Gordon Langsbury, you know, the blue sky is a great help in some of these photos.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes a big difference. That's cheating a bit. I've got loads tonight.
Yeah, a bird in the hand isn't worth two in the bush. Again, a bit tight in the frame, that one, and the bird looking away. Again, definitely too tight, that one, and bird looking out of the picture. I like the bird looking into the picture, where the space for it to move into. Sometimes a square crop works, sometimes it doesn't.
So you're seeing here the standard of the entries, really. There's some really good stuff.
Yeah, there were some really nice ones, yeah. I mean, the fact it's a waxwing normally sends it straight through to the next round, but not on that occasion. Yeah, sometimes heat haze plays havoc when you're taking pictures in hot countries. It was a nice image, that one. It's just a little bit out of balance, really, with the duckling sort of disappearing out the bottom right-hand corner. Again, that's possibly slightly over-processed for me, that one, looking at that first glance. Yes, if we had a category about the environment and pollution, that would possibly be what we wanted to put in there. Goose Anders, just back on our local reservoir at the moment. Again, that's one disappearing out shot. That was a very close one to getting through. It was just an awkward crop, that one, for me. Presumably the Chesterfield bird, was it, that one? Craig Martin. Just a little bit lost in the picture, that red kite, for me.
Some really interesting shots, huh?
Yeah, I really like this one, actually, and it was very close to going through. There's those horizontal lines of the log at the bottom, and the bird nicely in focus, different reflections going on in the background. Nice image.
Prisoned.
Yes, one for another category, that one. Canada goose pretending it's an ostrich. Purple sandpiper is always a good picture to get. A difficult bird to photograph.
That's not an easy one to photo, is it?
No, they're normally quite a way out.
Right. So there were 115 entries in total. Hence the need for us to trim it right down to about 50 for the final judging. So shall I go to share screen now and do my? I can. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the first entry in the birds in the environment category, or the first one that made its way through. So I'll start. Ashley and I will take turns in speaking first. So this is a lesser yellow legs, and it's an absolutely beautiful image. I wish it had been in the portrait section, really. For me, it just doesn't quite make the environment category, because there's more to the environment of a wader than simply the water that it's in. But I did like this, and I'd score it 4.
Yeah, I'm giving that one a 4 as well. Just yeah, just lacks that bit too, not quite an environment shot really, and I think slightly over processed that one, as I was mentioning earlier, just a bit too crisply outline of that bird.
Okay, so yours was a 4.
Mine's a 4, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the second one.
Yeah, well, I like this shot. It's nice to catch. You know, it's a bird in its environment, doing what it does. Maybe, you know, cusping on the sort of action type shot, but just not enough crispness about this image for me. And it's quite interesting how you can see the ripples coming, both birds coming together. So possibly more action than environment. Just lacks that pin sharpness of focus, and again a 4 for me on that one.
Yes, I agree. One of the difficulties in the judging is in rating common birds against those that are rare, and hence they sometimes are a bit more interesting if they're rarities. But this is a lovely image, so I gave it a 4 as well. Okay, well, this is a lovely image in my view. The bird is in a really nice position. You can't really say that that's not in its environment. I mean, this is the place to find redshanks, isn't it, in the saltwater channels? And I think it's a lovely picture of the bird itself. I was torn on this one. But in the end, I decided to go for a 4.
Yeah, I'd agree on a 4. Agree with everything you say there, Colin. I think the slightly out of focus as well. I think when you've got a bird smaller in the frame, it's the camera sometimes picks up the focus of where it's actually standing. So, but yeah, 4. Yeah, again, this one sort of similar in composition really to that redshank, really, isn't it? Just it's sort of in the top 2/3 as opposed to the bottom 1/3 of the picture, looking into the frame. That's how I like a picture frame, is that plenty of room for the bird to move into. So if it was looking to the left there, that would have been a 1 or a 2 straight away. But just lacks that sharpness for me on this one. And yeah, you can see there's a little bit of heat haze in the background there. So it could possibly be heat haze that's put paid to the pin sharp focus on this one. So, but I can give it a 4, this one.
Yeah, it definitely shows its habitat nicely, doesn't it? And
yeah,
it's a nice image, but as you say, it's just that tiny bit too soft. So I give it a 4 as well. And then here we have a lovely reed warbler, and it's a superbly sharp image, really, and shows every feather on the bird. It's so the environment is, it's certainly in its environment. It's possibly spoiled just a little bit by the positioning of the reeds, which is a bit unfortunate, seeing as we're looking for the environment. I think it was very well captured though, and again I give a 4.
Yeah, I was almost on a 5 with this one. It's perfectly composed, as you say. That nice blur on the right hand side is absolutely fine, but that blur down the middle is quite distracting. So yeah, 4 for me on that one. Yeah, the kittiwake shot, it's, I don't know, just didn't, it's, but yes, definitely bird in the environment, which didn't do enough for me, that particular image. The sort of seascape in the background there is sort of quite nondescript. Nice flowers on the cliff there, but maybe on a sunny day with some blue sky reflected in the water, that would have been a totally different image for me. But I couldn't give that more than a 3.5.
Yeah, I love this actually. And in a way, I was not unhappy about the area to the right, because I felt what that did was allow me to focus much more on the image of the birds and the beautiful daisies and the rocky ledges. So I gave that one a 5. Right, now, well, this one is a black rumped flameback, and you can't say that's not in its environment. It's a form of woodpecker, but the shame about it is really that it, and I like the position in the image really, because it shows it's going to go running up the side there. Unfortunately, the bird is simply not very sharp, so that just takes a little bit away from it. But I did like this one, but I gave that a 3 in the end. Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably raise that to a 3.5. I think if the bird had been sort of looking up to sort of 11 o'clock in the picture, that would have given more of a yes, it's going up the tree. But yeah, 3.5. Reed bunting in the shot here, singing from the top of the reeds. Again, sort of taken on a cloudy day. On a sunny day, it might have been a better image. Probably the birds are just a little bit small in the frame for me. I mean, it is a bird in the environment category shot, and that is a bird in its environment. But the trouble with birds with black heads and black eyes, it's seeing that highlight in the eye. And as I say, with a bit of sunshine, you might have seen a highlight in the eye there, and that would have made a better image. But yeah, pleasing image otherwise. If the sun had been out, it was a 4.5.
Right. Yeah, well, I share most of those views really. It is just a little bit too small, and as you say, I mean, I'm no a million miles from an expert photographer, but I always struggle with reed buntings to get the catchlight in the eye, I have to say. But I thought this was a 4. So this one, well, I love this one actually. It's the other thing I love is that the only other bird that seems to be really in focus looks as though it's looking up and waiting for the delivery. These are Australasian gannets, and I just think this is super. I wasn't sure whether the horizon was very slightly sloping, but barely. But I gave this a 5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you with a 5 there. I can't really take enough away from that. Yeah, the horizon is slightly askew. I'd probably like to have seen a little bit more of the bottom of that picture, and a bit less sky, perhaps a step backwards by the photographer. Although they have fallen off a cliff, so you have to be careful in these environments. But yeah, yeah, I'll go with the 5 on that one as well, Colin.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a group of snipe photographed on the Scilly Isles, and I bet I know exactly where that was photographed, being a regular over there myself. When you're looking for birds in the environment, the common snipe, really good example, and they do hide very well in their environment. And for me, this was one of my favourite shots of the lot, really. So yeah, this one's got everything for me, really. Lots of snipe. You're forever looking around the picture to see if there's any you haven't actually spotted. There's 7 in that picture. No, I've got 8. I've just found another one. That's a 5 for me. It's a lovely picture.
Yeah, well, I share that view. I mean, it is, and I suppose I love snipe anyway, but I mean, they're so, well, they're very sharp and clear, and the light's perfect, isn't it? Yeah. So I give that one a 5 as well. And this one, to be honest, we reviewed all of the ones we'd left out, and at the last minute popped this one back in. I think this is artistically, I think it's really attractive. I think maybe the bird itself is just lacking a tiny bit in sharpness, but it really is a beautiful picture to me. I like the way it's angled and gazing up at the sunlight, with the sun on the front of it, and the flowers are just caught nicely. So even though we nearly left it out first time, I thought this was worthy of a 5.
Okay, I have to disagree, I'm afraid, Colin. I'm giving this one a 4. For me, the bird's just a little bit too central. I'd like it further right in the frame. As you say, it's a very pleasing image with the sunshine just highlighting that bird and bringing it out in the frame. Lovely blurred background, lots of interest around it. Certainly very much an environment shot. But yeah, 4.5. Another reed bunting. Look, nice catch light in the eye on this one. For me, I think the bird needs to be further right. You've got all the reeds sticking up in front of that, and that's almost a picture on its own. And you've got something else going on on the right hand side of the bird there, which isn't really needed. I think if that had been cropped differently, that would have been a straight 5. But I'm going to give that a 4.
Yeah, I thought the same. It was, I mean, it is a really nice picture, and you so rarely get that catch light in the reed bunting eye. But yeah, for the same reason, I give it a 4. Now this one, it's an interesting picture, isn't it? And it was, I found this one quite difficult to decide on. I think I decided in the end that although the background is true to its environment, the picture is lacking something. The bird itself's pretty sharp, although maybe some of the feathers around the upper breast are not quite there. They're a bit washed out, but it's a fabulous picture, and I can't imagine many people can catch one like that. I gave that one a 4.
Yeah, I'm with you on a 4 on that one. I almost look at that and think there's 2 separate pictures there. It just doesn't seem to fit for me. You know, it could be a picture of the croc and a picture of the night heron separately, almost, for me. But yeah, 4. This one for me, really liked it. I've got to give it a 5 because it's a bird in its environment. Would have liked a bit of sunshine, but I can't. It's probably taken in Scotland, so you can't really get everything, can you, up there? Maybe the bird's sort of slightly higher up in the picture for me, maybe a little bit closer to the top of the frame rather than the central. But looking into the left of the picture where there's plenty of space for it to move into, nice and sharp. There's as much as a catch light you're going to get in the eye in those weather conditions. Blurred foreground, very blurred background. Bird stands out nicely. So yeah, it's a 5.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, I've always struggled to see red grouse, particularly close up. This for me, I think I hear what you say about the light, the sunlight, but in fact, this is, you know, a sort of a misty environment, kind of rather fits with the you know, the moors and where these birds are found. And I love this one. I give that one a 5. So yeah, snow bunting, and you can't say that's not in the environment, can you? I mean, that's a fabulous picture. Again, I think this is a cracking capture, and whoever photographed this, you know, got down really nice and low, and whether they crawled up to it or not, I don't know, but that was, you know, they must have taken quite a bit of effort to catch that one. But again, I gave it a 5.
Again, I'm going to be a bad cop on this one. It's just not sharp enough for me. There's no catch light in the eye. I'd say it's just too central to the picture, really. So I can't. I can understand the background. You wanted lots of blurring going on with the pebbles there, but yeah, I'd have cropped that probably slightly differently. I think the focus has actually been taken by that pebble in front of the bird with the stripe, because that's very, very sharp. So I can't give that more than a 4, Colin, I'm afraid.
It's all right. It's not me you're disappointed.
You're upsetting. Right. Well, again, this was one of my favourites. I am a fan of waders, but that's not the reason I'm putting it through. It's just that one bird that's sharp and in focus just gets your interest straight away on this particular picture. Bird in the environment for sure. It's in amongst the other sanderling there, and you know, nice blurred foreground. Again, somebody's got down and got their belly wet on taking this picture here. Nice how the bird sort of positions slightly to the left there rather than central in the frame, and it's, you know, pretty much the only one in focus is the one that's looking at you with the sunshine on it. So yeah, it's a definite 5 for me, that one.
Yeah, this is where I turn into the bad cop, because I wasn't quite as keen on this one. I mean, I agree with what you say, and and that does catch you immediately. You immediately go to that one sanderling with the focus where its eye is so clear. But I think I would have liked to have seen a bit more of the birds in sharp focus, and so for me it wasn't quite a 5. It's a 4. And then this is the final one in this section. Again, I mean, the colour in this is stonking, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. But I know it's environment with the grasses there, and all the material around the hole, the nest hole. And I loved the sand eels, but I felt that it was the grasses there did spoil it just that little bit. So I give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm with you with the 4 on that one. It's a great capture of the bird with its mouth full and in its burrow. Perfect in an environment shot, but just a bit too much going on to distract your eye from the puffin itself. So yeah, 4 for me.
Okay, so I am going to stop sharing while we wait for all those that scored 2 5s to be put through into the final grouping, which hopefully Jane is on now. I've got to re-find the... I've got to refine the file. Hang on, which I'll do in a second.
Just those three, was it?
They're in there now, Colin.
Yeah, okay.
The three that you chose. Yeah.
Thank you. Just let me find my way back in. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one.
Well, while that's going on, I'll just make a few announcements. Firstly, on membership, just like to welcome 3 new members. That's Carl Flint, Tracy Garrett, and Tony Ward, and we hope that they have a long and happy association with the club. But also on membership, there are a few members with outstanding subscriptions. So if you know that that's you, then we do hope that you'll rectify things as soon as possible, please. And just one other thing to mention at the moment, the prizes for tonight's competition have been donated by the London Camera Exchange in Reading. And we do hope that when you're looking for photographic equipment, new optics, that you will go along and see what they have in stock, and hopefully they'll benefit from your trade. Thank you. Oh, and there's Jane showing some of the prizes for tonight, courtesy of London Camera Exchange.
Okay, now I'm embarrassed to say that every time I click away from the screen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, every time I click away from the screen, I lose the connection for some reason. So I need to just log back in so I can see it, which is a bit odd.
Well, you are connected, Colin.
Yeah, okay. Can you, let me see if I can, I can't find anything to share the screen, that's the problem. I've lost all my sort of connection.
What can you see at the moment, Colin?
Just my desktop.
Can you find the Zoom window? Have you got it?
Just found it. I've just found it again.
Good.
Okay, I've sussed this now, I think. Except I'm on the wrong. Let's get back into my. Yeah, these are the ones then. Can you see this one?
Yep.
Yeah. So these 3 are the ones we need to, Ashley and I need to choose from for the winner of this section. I suspect that I know which one it's going to be. I think we're probably going to go for the sniper, aren't we, Ashley?
My favourite is the sniper amongst those. The red grouse is a lovely shot, but it's one of those images that's been done so many times. It's you know, it's not hard to not easy to get something that's a little bit different with a red grouse, but sniper a little bit more difficult to photograph.
Right, okay, so it looks like the snipe goes through to the final. Now let's see if I can move this now into, my goodness. Okay, so I need to go back.
That's the one, yeah.
I'll get there in the end.
You got there.
So, okay, yeah, just a matter of interest then. Overall, there were 16 different photographers that took part in this year's competition. And the environment, we had 17 photos from 11 people. This one, we've got 15 photos from 9 photographers. So this is number one. Do you want to kick off with this, Ashley?
Yeah, sure, yeah. It's a nice capture, this image. It's really difficult image to get. Obviously, a picture of a male kingfisher in this this instance, all black bill, telling you it's a male, with a dragonfly larva. So it's something that you don't see every day. So it's you sometimes see shots of kingfishers which have been set up with, you know, a bucket of fish basically below the kingfisher where it's going to fish, but it's not done with dragonfly larvae as far as I know. So this is a real wild genuine shot. It's not a setup, which is one reason why I'm sort of raising its scoring on this one, really. Sharpness, probably, I mean, the movement there, you're going to get a little bit of blur, but I think the focus of the camera has been taken actually on the stump. You can see the stump slightly sharper than the eye of the bird itself. But you know, I can't take enough away from it for that. I'm going to put that through on a 5.
Yeah, I was. There was something about it that I felt slightly uncomfortable with, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And everything you look at really is excellent. So I'll give it a 5 as well. See how it matches up with the others, because this is a really good section, I think.
Yeah.
So that's 5 each for that. Then this one is I think probably in this final more because it's very interesting than because it's such a fantastic image. Obviously, there are ways that you could have hoped to get a better image here, but it is fascinating to see the robin with the chiffchaff in its claws. So a lucky capture, I think. And for that, I give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 out of complete admiration of actually getting that picture, because that's something you certainly don't see every day. It's an amazing capture. Just not enough of the well, the robin sort of wings popping out the top of the frame there, which isn't necessarily important, but yeah, it's just not quite enough of a quality photograph. But amazing capture. Yeah, difficult one to judge this one. It's an excellent capture. Just the framing of it for me just didn't quite do it justice. It's almost you want to flip this one sort of through 180 or 90 degrees and have it as a portrait. But yeah, it's a strange one. I'm giving that one a 3.
But yeah, I thought it was incredibly well taken shot, and I don't mind the framing of it. I think it's quite a nice composition, really. I suppose you know, if Gordon were here now, he'd say you've got to have a blue sky, and because he was always keen on all these pictures of flight, always having a pure blue sky behind them. Yeah, I give it 4. And then this one of a ringneck duck. Well, if you want an action photograph, I mean, can you beat this? I think it's brilliant. I love it with all the water droplets, and everything is so sharp. It shows clearly what it is as well, and even though it's large, it's a bit large perhaps in the frame, but really that just enhances the water. I think the effects of the water. So I'd like to give that one a 5.
Yeah, I'm with you with that one on a 5. Tell you a little bit tight in the frame, but I've got a very similar photograph of my own actually of a coot mid bath like this, and yeah, they're a very effective image with lots of water splashing around. So yeah, it's a 5. Another duck. Last one was a ringneck duck, of course. Shoveler in flight. Great capture. It's a quite a difficult bird to actually get in flight. A shoveler. I've not got decent pictures myself of shoveler in flight, but so it's a good capture. For me, the only thing that's sort of letting it down is the wing position. When you capture a bird in flight, you can get the wings in all sorts of weird and wonderful positions, and for me, that's just a little bit sort of stretching. So I'm going to give that one a 4.
Yeah, I do like the photograph of the bird, actually. I think the only reason I'd make it a 4, or the main reason, would be, actually, I don't think it is 100% sharp, but the background is just a bit sort of miserable and dull. Very difficult with probably a duck in the middle of winter to get anything too bright, but it does look a bit sort of a bit of a dull picture simply because of that. So I give that one a 4 as well. This one, actually, I'm quite amazed at how many birds managed to be in focus on this. It's quite well done, and one hell of a lot of activity, as there always is when one of the gulls drops a bit of bread or something. Because it's really the background takes away from it an awful lot. So I think I would probably have to give that a 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, three species of gulls in that picture as well, which is, you know, nice to see. But yeah, there's a lot going on there. But as you say, background is a little bit dodgy on that one. So yeah, I'll give it a 4. Yeah, it's a nice portrait, really. This one, isn't it? It's not really action for me when a bird's preening. I want to see a bit more going on. A little bit tight in the frame, but it is nicely composed. It's nice to see the detail in the black-tailed godwit's wing there. Some lovely feather detail. It's a lovely image, but so that's one I'd probably put in the portrait category. But I'm going to give that one a 4.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think it's a lovely image, and I'd be extremely proud if I got a picture anywhere near that. But for the reasons you said, the size, the tightness in the frame and so on, I think I'd have to give it a 4. This one, sadly, it's got Gordon's blue sky, no problem there. But I think probably it's a blue-cheeked bee-eater, and it's just not quite sharp enough, sadly. So someone's had a great attempt at this, but it's you can see, certainly on my screen here, you can see just a little bit of fringing around the edges. It's just not quite sharp enough. So from that point of view, I think I'd have to give it a 3.
Yeah, I'll push it to 3.5. I've photographed a lot of bee eaters myself, and it's a crop that's been sharpened and then taken the sort of the grain out of it as well after that, which is giving it that sort of soft overall look. But yeah, it's a lovely bird though.
Yeah.
From blue-cheeked bee eater to European bee eater. And this one similar to the last one, really, in many respects, and the reasons that Colin sort of gave there. But this one's just a bit sharper, bigger in the frame, nice highlight in the eye there, nice blue sky, of course, but just not quite sharp enough. Just slightly too soft for me. So that's a 4.
Yeah, I think possibly it would have been. The angle doesn't do it many favours, but I do like it a lot. But it's just not quite a 5. So I'll give that one a 4 as well. Yeah, so this one is a great Kiskadee. I'm pretty sure I saw loads of those in Costa Rica. We just managed to do our Costa Rica trip before COVID came, but so I've seen quite a lot this year. This is a really interesting sort of capture, to see a bird looking like this. But everything about this image is just that little bit soft in colour, which is a shame because it is so, I think it's really quite unusual. I think because of the overall softness, I'd give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm with you with a 4 on that one. It is a nice image. It's very difficult to capture a bird flying towards you like that and get it sharp, and the eyes are sharp. There's a nice catch light. That's where the focus is. So very well done on that one. And I think the artistic nature of it, with that sort of strange sort of pose, sort of lends itself to leaving that space on the left hand side, which the photographer's done in the process in there, which, you know, absolutely fine. But so it's just lacking something for me. So 4, yeah. Red kite, nice blue sky, very nice blue sky. But I don't know, just not quite sharp enough for that one, and again a little bit tight in the frame. There's lots of pictures of red kites out there now. They're becoming a very much photographed bird, so you have to really have something special and something different with a red kite these days. But I can still give that one 3.5.
Yeah, I can't resist these pictures. Actually, I do think red kites are a bit special and very, very photogenic. And I like the composition of this. I love the position in the frame and the size as well, because for me it does make it look a big bird, which it is. It's I didn't think it lacked sharpness, but certainly the you know, it's been sharpened a tiny bit, I'm sure. Lovely blue sky, as you say. I'd give that one a 4. Then I really like this, although I mean, it's a lovely picture, and flight and action, you've got the whole lot in one go here. I couldn't quite make out what the dragonfly was, but it's a very attractive image and another really nice capture to get that moment. But it's probably, you know, overall it's probably not sharp enough, clear enough to quite make a 5 when it's up against some pretty stiff competition. So I'll give that one a 4.
Yeah, I'm with you on a 4 on that one. It's, for me, I'd have probably left out that bottom bird completely and cropped it horizontally. Left that, you know, bottom bird out with the branches and stuff around it, and it's still not quite sharp enough to get away with that. But that's the way I'd have looked at that image myself. But yeah, 4. So yeah, black grouse at a lek. Lovely image to capture. There's only so many places you can photograph the grouse doing this. Very difficult to capture this in the UK now. So you know, it's possibly a shot from somewhere in Scandinavia, but it's certainly birds in action. When the males are fighting like this around the lek, it's a very difficult thing to capture. I've tried it myself and not got anything anywhere near this myself. So got to admire that shot. There's blur in the picture, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually showing the movement of the wings and the action itself. And but you know, nice catch lights in the eye there. But yeah, that's a 5 for me.
Yeah, I can't say any more than that, really. I think it's absolutely fabulous image, and it's a really nice balance as well. You know, the bird on the right there, just that little bit higher. It's not as though they're both on the same level. It demonstrates the you know, there's jumping up and down, and demonstrates the lek really. yeah, it's brilliant. 5 for me. Right, yeah, another bee eater, another European bee eater. Better than the other 2, I think, probably. It's, I think, probably because that bird is probably moving at fair speed. I probably would have put it a little bit more left of centre. But overall, it's a nice shot. I'm going to give that one a 4.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to capture the wings like that. As I said, I've done a bit of bee eaters myself, and you can photograph them 9 times out of 10. It looks like a cigar with a beak. You don't see the wings at all because they keep the wings tucked in quite a lot, so it's difficult to capture the wings spread out like that. So yeah, hats off to that. But yeah, too central in the picture for me. It's a 4.
Okay. So, oh, last one for you, Ashley.
Yeah, it is me. Yeah, I'll start self finish. So yeah, black-headed gull in winter plumage. It's a nice image. It's very well spread, the bird. You can see lots of detail in feathers there. There's maybe a little bit of burning out on the whites there close to the tail, but yeah, that's a bird straight on a dive there, possibly having a bath or going for some food just below the surface. Again, another square crop. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I'd have probably gone for a horizontal sort of 6:4 sort of or 3:2 sort of ratio crop on that, just to give it a bit more room either side of those wings. But you know, doing it this way, you get a little bit of reflection in the water. But when it's not a crisp reflection, it's not necessarily that important. But yeah, I'm going to give that a 5.
Yeah, that was I chose a 5 as well for this. I do think it may be a common bird, but that's captured it really well. The only way I think you could improve it, or it might be improved, would be if there was a better reflection on the water just before it hit it, but that would be asking rather a lot. Yeah, I'll give that one a 5 as well. So now I've got to go through this again and try and get myself out of here and back to. Okay, so flight and action, we're waiting now, and Jane will pop the.
Can you stop squaring it? Oh, I don't know.
Do you need me to do something?
Yeah. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. Rob can give some announcements, perhaps.
Right. So yeah, as I said, there were in this group there were nine entrants for the 15 photos. Ashley and I don't know who the photographers are of any of these. Jane promises she's going to send a message to tell us right at the end, so that we do know. And
okay,
yeah.
Well, while Jane is sorting out the pictures, I've just got a few more announcements about records. Firstly, to encourage people to send in their 2019 records, because the start is going to be made fairly soon on the 2019 annual report. But in any case, keep up to date with your 2020 records as you're seeing birds from day to day. And talking of which, local records, I can kick you off with, there've been some white-fronted geese locally today at Colnbrook, Mediterranean Caspian gulls recently at Thiel, Pinto for one day at Moor Green, and there's a good flock of redpolls and siskins there. Has anyone anything else to add?
There has been a great white egret at Moor Green as well.
Yes, that's right.
For a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a record, Robert.
Yes, Ted.
A raven, actually, which was, I haven't been far recently, but I did walk around the local golf course, which is about just top side of North Ascot, basically. And I had a raven sort of calling and making all sorts of weird noises in the trees, and had good views of it. So that's a new one for me in this area, certainly.
Right. Yes.
I
Yes,
can
Carol.
add, I got one in Bracknell.
Probably the same one, Carol.
Could be.
Well, they're gradually working their way east. Any more records? Okay, I think we're done with that.
You're doing a astonishing job. Cheers.
Yeah,
Are
they're
you,
there.
are you ready,
They are
Jane?
there, Colin. Yes, they're done.
Right, so we've got 4 this time.
Mm.
Oh dear. So we'll run through them. You take the plunge first, Ashley.
Okay, I'll take the plunge. For me, it's the black grouse. That stands out of those 4 for me. Just a lot more going on, lot more action to capture there.
Yeah, I agree. You know, if I know this is not the object of the exercise, but if I had a picture on the wall of any of these, that would have to be the one, I think.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it, actually. It's
okay, so there's our winner from the flight
action, yeah.
category. So how do I get out of here? Let's see. Okay, so shall we just have a 5-minute break now then?
Yep.
And we'll commence with the portrait section in just a few minutes. I'm off to get a beer. Okay, so we have here that come through. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we've got 18 photos from 11 people. Do you want to kick this one off, Ashley?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Right, Hoopoe lark. Again, I photographed these myself. Cape Verde. They're a fascinating bird, actually. Black and white in the wings. Lovely in flight, actually. It's a portrait. That's what we've asked for. Nice and sharp. Again, I think we're just losing some sharpness with the heat haze possibly on this image. I guess it's bird and environment as well, isn't it? Really, because it's Hoopoe larks that cut that coloration because of where they live, sort of desert habitat. But yeah, it's a nice image. Maybe a little bit too central. I could perhaps be fussy and say push that across further to the right, looking into the frame a bit. It's a tough category, this one. We've got a lot of really good ones in here, so 4.5.
Ooh. Okay, well, it is a problem of matching them to the competition to some extent. It's a lovely image, but maybe the disadvantage is the bird itself and its background. It fits too well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it 4. So yeah, I mean, it's a lovely image, isn't it? I love the backlight, and the lichen is fantastic. I think it's a beautifully balanced picture, and I love the dots of light in the background as well. So for me, I find it's completely sharp. I can't find anything that's soft in that image of the bird, so I'd give that a 5.
Yeah. Do I give it a 5? For me, it's a beautiful image, and it's cropped pretty much as I crop it myself, just leaving that bit of room above the branches, top and bottom. It's birds perched beautifully, lovely backlight. You know, repeating everything you say really, Colin, here, but the bird's just a little bit dark for me, maybe just not enough light, but obviously, you know, the light's all behind it, isn't it? Go on, 5.
Sounds like you're begrudging it.
Right, well, what can I say about this one? Some colour here, isn't there? Amazing effects you can get in the water with the movement of water and reflections of you know, sort of fresh green leaves in the background, I presume, on this occasion. Very bright bird, a mandarin, of course, as well. I don't know, for me, it's just too tight in the frame. It's possibly how the picture was taken. You know, that could be the shot. You know, some of these birds do come very close. You know, it's pin sharp. Can't complain about that at all. Just a bit tight in the frame. I've got to give it a 4.
Yeah, I find the green overpowering personally, and I think it's a bit of a shame that you know, you've got such a lovely, colourful bird, and then you've got all this incredibly bright colour around it, which sort of, in a way, detracts from it, or what it does for me. It just takes a little bit away from the bird, although it is a lovely picture. So I would give it a 4. And then the lilac-breasted roller. Remember 2 years ago now, I went on a ringing trip to South Africa, and we were catching these things. Absolutely beautiful birds, and you know, that's, for me, that is a really, really nice image with it perched up there. The background could be a bit better. Actually, it is just a very little bit soft, just not quite sharp enough, which is a shame, because actually I found that we could get quite close to these birds. But I like it a lot, but I give it a 4.
Yeah, I can't give it more than a 4. It's I think if that was any other bird perched on that branch, you probably wouldn't look twice at it. Only because it's a lilac-breasted roller. We're perhaps discussing it. A very, very colourful, beautiful bird, but yeah, it's a 4. Crimson winged finch, I think this is. Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely crisp image. Bird in its environment as well could fit into that category. That's the sort of a bird that lives at altitude. I don't know, perhaps it's just a bit tight for me in the frame, a bit too close to that left-hand end, and possibly a little bit too high up in the frame as well, maybe. It's a sort of a 3x2 crop. I'd have probably gone sort of slightly more wider frame on that, but it is a lovely image, nice, you know, nice feather detail and everything, but for me, just a bit tight on that left-hand side, so it's a 4.
Well, in a way, I'm glad you gave it a 4, because it means I can give it a 5 and not worry that I've got too many difficult ones to choose from. This, I've got to say, it's one of my favourite birds. This, I think, when you go all the way up those mountains, and then you suddenly find this beautiful little bird up there somehow surviving, and to catch it on that, you know, that lovely lump of snow, and every little piece of ice is shown. So yeah, I love that, and you know, I'm quite happy with its position in the frame. I think it is just fractionally left, but I don't see it's almost central, but it's just slightly left, and I think that works for me. But anyway, I'll give that one a 5. Yeah, this I mean, could you get a clearer shot of a black cap anywhere? I mean, it's absolutely every single feather here you can see, absolutely perfect. But I just think it's too big, you know, it looks like a big bird. And it's a very uninspiring sort of background, and the perch isn't too good, which is a shame, because you know, the photographer's really got a beautiful detailed shot here. But I can't give that one a 5. I'd have to give that one a 4 or a 4.5.
We're going to do the opposite to last time then, because I'm giving this one a 5.
Yeah.
No, I actually love this image. I mean, yeah, I think I probably have to agree. It probably is a little bit too big in the frame, but absolutely pin sharp. And that branch that's sort of, you know, starting off out of focus and, you know, going from corner to corner, you know, sort of diagonally there is perfect. And that bit of light sort of highlighting behind the head there, giving that you know, showing the profile, and it's a lovely image. I mean, you don't have to have a brightly coloured bird to make a nice portrait. Female black cap here, lovely. I'm still giving her a 5, Colin.
Right.
Okay. Lovely, colourful.
By the way, we should be mentioning the species. So apologies. I'm sure you all knew that was a.
I think you have been, Colin.
Oh, right.
So yeah, kingfisher, a female on this occasion. I think it was a male the last one. Female with a orange lower mandible there. Lovely bright image. It's a portrait. That's what we've asked for. For me, possibly, I don't know, with it being sort of central in the frame, because you don't know which way it's going to go, because it's sort of the body's facing left and the head's facing right. But it's nice and sharp in the eye. Lovely, colourful image. It's just lacking a bit of something for me. I'm not sure quite what it is. It almost looks as though it's the background sort of being provided by a company like a Real Tree Camouflage or whatever. 4.5.
Yeah, I love this actually, because I like the cobwebs. You know, even the cobwebs are in focus. And it's maybe a slightly unusual picture in the sense of showing that cobalt blue back of the bird, which you don't always see, because you often see most of the photos show a lot of the orange from the on the belly of the bird, and the fact that it's looking right gives the picture its balance, I think. Yeah, I would have given this. I will give this a 5. Right. So this is a spotted flycatcher, and it's a lovely picture. It's pin sharp, and for me, the only thing that is missing from this picture, which the photographer couldn't do anything about, is a lack of a fly for it to jump out to.
That's a bit fussy, you want that, Colin?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's yeah, I suppose, you know, if all conditions were right, you'd be the other side and you'd have a picture without the branch in front of the bird, so you'd be able to picture it from the other side. But it's lovely. Yeah, I'll give it 5.
For me, it's a bit like the kingfisher shot last time. There's just something missing from it. As you say, lovely crisp image. That branch is just a little bit distracting for me, coming sort of, it's almost coming towards me and going to poke me in the eye. But yeah, maybe a bit too much space on the left hand side as well, but it's a 4 for me. So another red grouse, another male. For me, just it's facing full on. I don't know, in that particular circumstance, I'd like to have seen the the bird maybe sort of more side on, see a bit more detail. He's facing to the left there. Again, it's sharp, but not pin sharp. It's a 4.
Yeah, I find this certainly not as good as the other red grouse image. I mean, it's nice, but you know, again, there's a lot of competition in this section. So, is this quite as good as the others? I don't know. I'd give this one a 4 as well, I think. Right. Well, this is I saw loads of these actually in Costa Rica, and I've forgotten the name of the thing. Rufous collared sparrow. That's it. Yeah, I like this a lot. I like its perch. I like where it is. I like the presumably tiny insects in the air around it, and it's lovely and sharp. It's an interesting pose as well. I don't know whether I don't recall them sort of stretching up quite like that or being quite as erect in shape. Nice green background as well. Yeah, what shall I say? I think I'll give it a 5.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's a 5. I think that's actually rain, isn't it, in the picture? It's not they're not insects. It's looks like little stripes coming downwards. It's like a drop of rain. But yeah, lovely sort of bokeh. Nice blurred background and a nice colour, sort of making the bird stand out in the frame nicely. Yeah, it's a definite 5 for me. So another spotty flycatcher. Looks like a juvenile. This one, still a little bit fluffy. Yeah, it's not a great perch. I think it was an adult bird on a slightly better perch, and might be better. But I think again, it's slightly soft. That's a 4.
Yeah, I thought the image was extremely sharp on this one. I mean, the bird looks a bit, it's a little bit tatty, isn't it? A bit scruffy. And the background's dull, but the perch really lets it down more than anything, I think. It's unfortunate. It's a perfectly natural perch, but it's just not a pretty one. And they're the ones that make the difference, really, in the image at the end of it. So I'll give that one a 4. Right, well, these are collared nightjars. There are 2, one looking left and one looking right. And I mean, this is a really striking image, and someone must have been down on their knees to take this, I think. The birds have this lovely sleepy-eyed look, don't they? As though they've just kind of gone to the trouble of opening their eyes to see what the hell that is going on in front of them. This is a really striking picture. I mean, you can spend some time looking at this and enjoying it. So I give this one a 5. It's all lovely and sharp and lovely.
Yeah, I really like this one. It's it got me sort of thinking and sort of looking at that. Do they roost together like that and turn their heads in opposite directions to make it look like one bigger animal with the eyes there, so make themselves more imposing. So I believe these are endemic to Madagascar, but lovely. And I mean, you could say it's tight in the frame, as we have done with other shots, but having tried to photograph nightjars myself at roost, and they're often in very, very difficult places, and that was possibly the only angle in underneath that bush to take the shot. So yeah, definite 5 for me. Lovely image. So we've got a curlew sandpiper, probably an autumn passage bird in the UK, perhaps. But yeah, a sort of distinctive down curved bill. Nice movements in the legs there. It's when they just sort of just both feet on the ground. It's not necessarily a pleasing picture, so just a little bit of movement there is absolutely fine. Lovely, nice and sharp in the eye. The only reason I'm not giving this one a 5 is it's just a little bit too central in the frame. It is a lovely portrait of a lovely wader, but yeah, I'm gonna give that a 4.
Yeah, I agree. It's maybe a tiny bit big in the frame. It makes it appear to be a bigger bird than it really is, but it's wonderfully sharp. And maybe the picture is sadly a little bit too grey as well. It would be nice. I mean, again, the photographers, you've got to be lucky, haven't you, really, and hit the day with the right light and everything. Lovely picture, but I'll give it a 4. This is a spotted sandpiper, and I have to say I like this one a lot. I like the whole image. It shows it nicely. It's nicely positioned in the image. Although it's a plainish background, it's quite nice with the sort of stripes of green going across it, and it's on quite a nice perch. Why do they call them spotted sandpipers? I've only ever seen them with
winter plumage.
Yeah, only ever seen it once, but they are, you know, very lovely birds. But this demonstrates for me, unlike the last one, you know, that it is quite a small sandpiper. So the picture to me sort of does this one more credit. I give that one a 5.
Yeah, 5 every day of the week for me on that one. It's a lovely shot. I don't mind if he's in winter plumage, hasn't got his spots.
Yeah.
It's just really nicely composed, and you know, that sort of bit of blurred wood in the foreground there, sort of leading you into the bird on its perch, and plenty of room on the left hand side for it to fly into. Sharp as you like. Colours of the background just not just nice enough, but non-distractive. Yeah, definitely a 5 for me. So we've got a purple heron by the looks of it. Yeah, herons are always an awkward bird to get a portrait of, and obviously the photographers on this occasion decided to just go for the head as the portrait. Again, we've got a little bit of grass going in, reed going in front of the bird there, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the bird's eye just peeping between some reed in the foreground. It's just I don't know, it's just a little bit of an awkward image for me. It's not really sort of jumping out, and going back to Colin's thing earlier, sort of about would I want that on my wall? I probably wouldn't want that one on my wall. So that's a 4 for me.
Yeah, I think I'd go along with you there. I don't know what's happened in the at the top of the bill by the laws. It looks almost as though something's been smudged out, you know, a reed or something. I mean, it's a lovely picture, but once I spotted that little brown spot in the top right hand corner, it kept taking my eye every time. Which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, you've got to choose between 4s and 5s somewhere, and so I'll go on with a 4. And then this one, well, it's people do take brilliant photographs, and it's so hard to decide which is better than any other. And I really like this because a collared dove is, I mean, I love collared doves anyway, unless they're on the top of the TV aerial at 4 AM on a spring morning. So I really like the picture, but I'm not sure it can compete with the others. So what I'm going to say, which is really hard, that the top of the head's missing. So I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah, I couldn't give any more than a 4. My reason for it, I mean, I don't mind the top of the head missing there. If you're going to go in for a really tight crop like this is, it's just that type of portrait. But if you're going to go in that tight, the one thing you want in focus is the eye, and the eye is just not quite there, is it? There's the focus is taken elsewhere in the feathers. So yeah, it's a 4. So white throat in this picture, just I don't know, it's just lacking a bit of colour, I think, in this shot. Sort of white throat's wings are sort of generally sort of more of a sort of rusty sort of colour, aren't they? So it's just lacking a little something for me. It's sharp enough. There's a bit of highlight in the eye there, but again, you know, small bird made to look a bit too big in the frame, really. So I'm going to give that one a 4.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, I did love the image, the detail in the image. Again, every feather you can see. The background looks extremely grainy, and it's an unfortunate perch, really. It's just not a particularly attractive one, and you imagine this being taken on rather a dull day, not on a terribly bright day. I'd give that one a 4 as well. So this is number 18, the last of this section. This is a rainbow bee eater, and to be honest, I think this picture is pretty well perfect for me. I'd give that one a 5.
Do I be mean here? I like it, you know, and it's a bit like lilac-breasted roller, you know. It's if it was a different type of bird on that rather unattractive perch, would you look at it twice? But you know, bee eaters are an appealing subject, and people do want to look at them. And yes, you might put that on your wall. So obviously there's a lot of shadow on the part of the bird that's below the perch, but you know, your main your eye is sort of drawn to the eye itself, isn't it? With a fabulous catch light, lovely sharp, lots of feather detail. You've talked me into a 5 there, Colin.
Okay.
I can't be grumpy and mean all the time.
Right. Okay. Well, here's the hoopoo lark then. So yeah, so we've had 18 of those, 17 environment pictures, 15 flight and action, and 18 portrait. We're going to end up in a minute with just 3 for you to choose from for the assembled throng to vote on. Sally is...
You come out of the meeting. Sorry.
Sorry? So Sally is hopefully...
You've got to choose the winner for that one first before I...
Yeah. So I'm just...
And then then we'll do then you show the final thing.
I just need a few more, half a minute.
Yeah. That's all right. So and then we'll have this vote, and we'll put on the screen for you a way to do the
spotted sand. I need the rainbow bee eater, which is number 37. 1, 2, 3.
You've got a few to battle with on this one, I think, Colin.
Yeah. It's painful, this.
Very, very painful. Very, very hard.
Yeah, all 5 are there for you now to battle over. I know which one I like.
Wonderful. Right, okay. So we'll run through them a couple of times and see what we think.
For me, I think with that one again, just too shady, the bird. think for me, Colin, it's the night jars.
Yeah, I was I was thinking the same actually. The you see, normally what we do for those viewers, Ashley and I usually have a little quiet mutter in the background about which one we're going to choose, and we usually reach a amicable conclusion, but we haven't needed to do it tonight, I don't think, because I agree. I think this this one is such a startling image, and with terrific colour. So I think that one's going through to the final vote. So I think that's over to Jane now, is it?
Well, I've put them all into a folder that you could share, or I could share them. What would you prefer? You're sharing at the moment, so you might as well.
Yeah, okay. Where am I going to find that? In here? You did tell me.
Go to the 4 judging and then 3 winners, 4 cup.
Okay. Right, so what we'll do first, we'll set it up. I don't know whether I can do this as a slideshow. I'm not sure I can. But I'll click through them. And then, Sally, will the poll be up?
I can put it up when you want me to. I'm not sure if it'll go over the screens, but I would suggest you show everybody, let everybody have a good look at the pictures first.
Okay, I'll run through these a few times then, and while people make their minds up. So each of these winners, whoever they are, will have a prize. No doubt dispatch them in the post. It'll have to be registered insured, I'm sure. Okay, so snipe, that was from the environment. The night jars, which it certainly wasn't action, was it? That was portrait.
No, that's a portrait, yeah.
And there's your action entry. So do you want to pop the poll up now?
I'll see if it'll work on top of the photos. I'm not sure whether I have to. Let me just bring it up. Can you see that on top of the pictures?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, if everybody could vote, if you've got, just have to click on your preference. If you have 2 people watching and the second person would like to vote, please could they put it in the chat at the bottom? And I'll add it on to the overall score.
You able to keep those scrolling behind, Colin?
Yeah, I can, although the that's right. Well, actually, I can move it, can't I, out of the way?
A few more people to vote yet. Is there anybody else who'd like to vote in the chat? Please do put it in. As far as I can see, there's 5 people who haven't voted yet. 4. 3 more still trying to decide.
Or don't want to take sides.
Well, that's right, you don't have to, obviously. Okay, well, everybody has voted. So we have in all, bear with me while I just do a little very quick bit of maths and add my vote on. I forgot that I can't vote on the and we have a winner. We have, I'll do it in reverse order. The snipe had 6 votes, the coloured nightjars 15, but the black grouse had 18 votes and wins.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations to the
I can't find it.
photographer.
Which one was that in? Black grouse.
Action.
Is Jane, were you going to send the
I have. I've just told you who took the black grouse.
have you? Because I can't find how
Oh,
to.
shall I just say it? Is
Yeah,
that
please do.
okay? So the black grouse photo, which has won the cup, was by Brian Winter.
All right. Has Brian won before? I don't know. I can't remember. I think he may have done. He certainly won
I
category.
won the very first one.
You won the very first one.
The cup.
Oh, there you are.
And
Did you? Oh, right. Okay. Brilliant.
and the winner of the birds in the environment, which was the snipe, that was by Andy Tomzinski.
Well done, and Andy.
And the winner of the portrait category, I think that's the one that's left, isn't it? The collared nightjar, that was by David Massey.
Oh, well done, David.
Lovely image, yeah.
And I can give you the names of all the runners-up if you want in those categories. Do you think we should?
Yeah.
Okay, let me read them out then. I'll just get where I've written them down. So in birds in the environment, the runners-up, the gannets were by Brian Winter and red grouse by Dave Rhymes. In flight and action, the runners-up were the kingfisher by Ewan Jones, the ring-necked duck by John Absalom, and the black-headed gull by Tony Ward. And in the portrait category, the runners-up were the crested tit by Brian Winter, the rufous-collared sparrow by Brian Winter, the spotted sandpiper by Ewan Jones, and the rainbow bee-eater by Dave Rhymes.
Okay, thank you, Jane. I should say actually that we've failed, Ashley, because we should have chosen one runner-up, the top two in each category, because the I think the prizes we've got one winner and one runner-up. So maybe what's the time now? 9:40. We maybe we could find a way to pop back and just decide on the.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair
great.
by everyone. So no, hang on. I've got to go back and even further.
Go to birds in the environment. Yeah.
Birds in the environment, shortlist.
That's it.
So it's either that one or that one. Which is the runner-up? Go on, Ashley. You're the visitor. It's
Okay.
your decision.
Snipe.
No, that one is.
No, sorry. The gannets. The gannets.
You like the okay,
I
lovely.
prefer the gannets, yeah. I know you'd have gone for the grouse.
Right. So now I need to go back again. Good grief. This is so complicated. Well, it shouldn't be, should it? Flight and action. So shortlist. So it's the kingfisher, the ring-necked duck, or the black-headed gull.
Over to you. It's your choice.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I had the last one, didn't I?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go for the black-headed gull because, you know, it's a common bird, but that's an unusual and a very striking shot.
Okay.
So that's my choice for runner-up there. And
we'll fight over the last one.
will we?
We're bound to.
Right. I'm not sure I'm doing this the right way around, but anyway, one way or another. So the runner-up in the portrait is going to be one of these. So crested tit, rufous-coloured sparrow, spotted sandpiper, or rainbow bee-eater.
For me, it would be the spotted sandpiper, but you probably differ in opinion there, don't you?
Probably. Now, you thought you felt that one was a bit dark.
Yeah,
I like the backlit side of it, but and you're not so keen on that. You see, I love that. I could have that on my wall.
But if that was a common sandpiper sat on a branch, you wouldn't even look twice at it, would you?
But
I think it's the colour in that one that's
yeah,
striking.
Yeah. Go on then. I'll go along with this one then. Spotted sandpiper.
Okay.
Okay. Have we got all we need?
If everybody's gone home.
You okay with that, James?
James resigned.
Yeah, no, I've got what I need. So we've got, I'll just say the winners again, shall I? In the first section, Birds in the Environment, the winner was the Snipe by Andy Tomzinski, and the runner-up were the Gannets by, have I got that there? Can't remember. 16. So I've lost that. Were the Gannets by Brian Winter. And in the second category, the Flight and Action, the winner was the Black Grouse by Brian Winter, and the runner-up was the Black-Headed Gull by Tony Ward. And in the portrait section, the winner was the Nightjar by David Massey, and the runner-up was the Spot Sand by Ewan Jones. So well done, everybody.
Lovely, yes, well done. We've got a selection of photographers there.
And the Black Grouse by Brian Winter was the overall winner of the cup.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congratulations, Brian, and everybody else.
Well done, Brian.
So we'll hand over. Thank you very much, Ashley. It's the second year you've done it, and you're a regular visitor to the BOC, and we're very pleased to see you.
It's a pleasure. And I'm miles away from anybody tonight, so you know I think I'm safe. I'm safe on the streets, the streets of Solihull tonight.
Well, we do remember you chose the biggest bloke in the room last year.
That was pure coincidence. Brilliant.
I've got the trophy here. If anybody wants, I'm in the wrong box to give it to Brian. He's a bit further down the screen.
Yeah, pass it along to Jane. Yeah. Pass it along to Jane, she can pass it up.
Yeah, thanks, Ted.
Well done, Brian.
Yeah, well done. So, shall we just hand over to Robert to close the meeting, or is there anything else we need to do? Apart from
no, that's fine. I'd just like to thank everyone involved. Firstly, everyone who's taken part in the competition. I think it's been a very impressive standard of photography. Thank you to Jane for organising it, and to our judges Ashley and Colin, who've done an incredible job. It's really difficult, I think. First of all, handling the technology, doing it in quite a different way to what we're used to when we've had photographic competitions before. So I think they've done a really good job, and thank you very much. And I think looking forward, we've got another photographic competition later on in the season. I think around about June, no, not June. It will be one of the last meetings of the season, so it's probably April.
It's March the 17th.
Thank you.
It's March.
Thank you, Sally.
March the 17th.
If anybody would like to run it, let me know.
There we are. So get out there with your cameras and come up with some more photos. Our next meeting is going to be in a fortnight's time. It would have been the social. Well, it is still the social. We've got 3 talks. We've got Renton talking about surveying in Berkshire, Tony Hayward talking about Costa Rica, and Fraser Cottington on new developments at Lavelles Lake. As it's the Christmas social, I understand that Sue Chan is going to be providing the refreshments at the interval, or maybe I've got that wrong. But no, thank you everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Rob.
Bye bye.